I also, as far as the analysis of the fight, look, he kept the geography. Matter of fact, when you really knew that Canelo was in trouble? I'll tell you when. When Bivol didn't fight his fight anymore, he went inside to the other guy's land to where the geography was better for Canelo on the inside, and he still won rounds. He still won those moments. That's when you knew it was a long night. That's when you knew it was a long night for Mr. Canelo. When he fought the wrong fight and he still made it the right fight by going in close Bivol. And the other thing is, look, he controlled the jab. He controlled range for the most part. He put punches together. I'll tell you what really did in Canelo. We talked about it on the fight plan. By the way, we did say we would take the odds. We did say that with my bookie.
Yep.
And I'll tell you another thing. His great trainer, Eddie Reynoso, right? Great. The great Eddie Reynoso. Okay. Yeah, I'm being serious. I'll tell you, who had the better fight plan? The guy you never heard of, Bivol's trainer, right? Nobody's ever heard of him. He's been his trainer since the amateurs. Who had the better fight plan? Bivol's people or Canelo's people? I just said it before the fight. Canelo could not win that fight without a jab. I guess somebody didn't realize that because he was looking for just power punches. And the problem with looking for power, if you don't land them, you're behind in the scorecards, number one.
Yep.
And number two, part of landing your power punches to have a table setter, like to jab. And I'll tell you another thing. If you're fighting a guy who is going to look to control the outside and has good legs, you better bring a freaking jab along to control the outside so he doesn't control the outside, to at least stabilize him on the outside. And he didn't. So to finish the analysis of the fight, there were moments that you had to look for. Another one that Bivol took great advantage of, and we talked about in the fight plan, was sometimes Canelo gets carried away on the ropes with his defense, Ken. He gets intoxicated by showing off, making you miss, slip, and he does it pretty good, making you miss, slipping, dipping. I think he might have got that from Mayweather when Mayweather kind of schooled him, if you will.
Unfortunately for Canelo, when he tried to do it, Bivol punched his head a bunch of times.
It's an opportunity that other people didn't take advantage of, where you go against the ropes and you go defensive for no reason other than to go defensive. You're allowing your opponent a moment to get his hands off, knowing nothing's coming back for that particular moment. Knowing that he's just showing off his defense, whatever you want to call it. He's just making you miss, but he's not looking to throw back. And a lot of guys don't take advantage of that. Bivol took advantage. That's a moment to get ahead in the scorecards. That's a moment to really have a big round. And that's a moment that if you take it a little further and you really push the envelope and you really put punches together, he can't slip them all. He can't slip them all, especially if he's not throwing back. Because there's nothing to...
That was the key for me, is like if you're slipping and sliding, you're waiting for Canelo to come back with some huge counter, and after Bivol would wail on him, he would have no counter.
But what it really matters in boxing terms is that when there's nothing coming back, there's nothing to deter the guy throwing the punches, in this case Bivol, from being careful about how many he throws. So he put more together knowing he could, because there was nothing to deter him, to threaten him. And he connected, because you can't slip them all. And by putting more together, he started to connect. So he took advantage. We talked about it on the fight plan. There would be an opportunity on the ropes where Canelo goes into his defense, where you could steal that round just right there. And he did. He did. And the other thing, I don't think Canelo helped himself. Nobody pointed this out, Ken. No commentator. I don't think they recognized it, to be honest. But Canelo likes to ride with punches, like the great Roberto Duran used to. He used to ride with right hands, like the right hand's coming at him. He turned his head to the right and go with it. So it took away the impact of the punch. Canelo does that. He'll move his head here and he'll just ride with punches. It's better to just slip the punch clean. That everyone knows you missed and you're in a position to counter back. He didn't do that. In spots, he rode with it. I don't think it helped him. Helped him because it made it more clear that he was getting caught. And even if he wasn't getting caught as clean as normally because he was riding it out, he was bringing attention to it by doing that, and it looked like he was getting caught clean, even spots where it wasn't quite as clean. So he didn't help himself, and it's almost like he put a flashlight on himself with the judges to make sure that they saw that he's getting beat in these moments.